Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Google Pixel 6 and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2023. Now, the thing I'll definitely tell you is that the Pixel 6, I think, is still completely worth buying. I think it was a pretty good phone when it first came out, and it still has a really decent amount of software ahead of it, a decent lifespan ahead of it too. But the thing I will tell you is there's a lot better of a phone out now, which is the Pixel 8, and I'd probably recommend just buying that phone over this one, but I'll let you guys kind of do your research. I've already done a comparison between them two. Now, the thing I'll tell you is for this particular phone, you have a 6.4-inch AMOLED display on the front of this thing. It's 90Hz, 1080p, and it's a pretty good looking display. It's a very, very decent panel for what you're getting, and although it's not like a perfect display or a perfect phone, I think it's a pretty good looking display when it comes down to it. You know, it's a whole bunch display as well, and I would probably say from that perspective, it's a good display when it comes down to it. USB Type-C at the bottom, you're getting the standard glass back on the back of this phone, dual camera setup as well, and overall it looks pretty good. You know, like I said, I don't have much to complain about, and it's a pretty good looking and pretty good feeling phone when it comes down to it. Now, on the back side, you're getting that 50 megapixel wide and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and it looks fairly solid. 4K at 60 on the back, you are only getting 1080p on the front, which can be kind of an annoyance for some people. Like, I wish, I'm not gonna lie, having the, a little bit more capability on the front, maybe a little bit better. Like if you had 4K at 60 on the, front, that'd be much better. Google eventually ended up doing it, but this particular phone didn't have it. But it was still like a pretty good performing camera, actually when it came down to it, which is really, really cool. So from that perspective alone, that's a really, really, big deal in my opinion, and just one of those very, very important things to keep in mind. Now, from the software perspective, at least going on from this particular year, having a phone that was better in the software department is the better thing, and that's kind of what's going on here. Like, Androids always have, very, good software lifespan, especially from Google Pixels, and with a device like this, you are actually getting a device that's going to be giving you overall better, software experience than a lot of the other devices that came out. Now, with that being said, if you're trying to get a phone that's going to have the longer lifespan, again, going for the Pixel 8, going for the Pixel 8 Pro, those types of devices are probably going to be better for you than this type of phone. So keep that in mind, but I will tell you that this one still has quite of a lifespan ahead of it, and that's still a super important thing to keep in mind as well. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the performance, this thing does have that Google Tensor G1 chipset inside, which is genuinely like a pretty decent chipset. Like, it's a fairly good performing chipset when it comes down to it. And if you're wanting a phone that has like the best performing X, Y, and Z, this is probably going to be a decent performing device, which is a really, really cool thing. It's not going to be perfect though, but it's going to be very, very good. I think that's a super important thing to keep in mind here as well. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. And to be honest, I definitely do think a device like the Google Pixel 6 is still completely worth buying. I think this thing, even though it may only have like another 2 years of software updates and security updates, it's still a very good performing phone. And I think that deserves a lot of, I would say a lot of hype around it, just because it did have that type of capability and you have that type of experience with this phone. Again, it's not like a perfect thing in the world, but it's still a super cool thing that ended up happening. I think that's a really awesome thing for this phone, and basically one of the reasons why I'd recommend buying it. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.